Welcome, one and all. I am KC.
And I'm DC.
And we are two goddamn gentlemen bringing to you this and every week a celebration of all things noble and cricket eating. You can find this show at twogoddamngentlemen.com. That'll give you a link to our Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, which gets you into the live Discord during the show. DC, if you would, please read back the minutes from last week.
Okay, see, as expected, King Henry was split. He was damn near right in the middle of gentlemen and not gentlemen. I don't think many people who voted understood maybe who King Henry was and maybe voted before they heard the episode. I think they just figured King Henry, of course. I don't
know who King Henry is. What the hell?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not about to disparage our audience, but they sure as shit knew who Maddox was, because Maddox got 5 times more votes than any other person. I chalk that 50% up to how awesome we are, and 50% up to the fact that Dick Masterson, who we talked about, Maddox's anti-hero last week, he retweeted our episode. He was very excited that we were shitting on Maddox, and he helped us along to the tune of, I think, 10,000 views on our episode tweet. We got well over 100 downloads for our episode in episode 3. I mean, we're starting from scratch, so that's significant. In about 5 episodes from now, that's going to be chicken shit. We're not going to care about 100 views, but dude, I took a list of all the countries that we got downloads in. There were countries I've never even heard of. I think we're the most popular up-and-coming podcast in Myanmar. So congratulations to us. That's first and foremost. Job done. I will say, however, that everybody unanimously hated Maddox, and they voted him not a gentleman. He got voted straight to hell. Like a -1 was like the most kind vote that Maddox got. So I'm happy to announce that I now have the most gentlemanly, which is Russell Greer, which I also don't think people would have voted him if they understood the voting up that high. But hey, there he sits. So I've got the top and the bottom gentleman, and this week I am excited as fuck to get to my first gentleman of the week. Without further ado, KC, I am nominating Jonathan Yaniv. You know who this guy is?
I don't. Looks like a normal enough fellow.
Really? I think he looks like Mr. Potato Head's retarded cousin.
Okay, he looks like that too. Sure. Okay with that.
Yeah. Jonathan Yaniv was born in 1988 in British Columbia, Canada. He went through high school, normal kid, nothing to report, until he went to college, where he was a computer science major at Kwantlen Polytechnic University. In 2008, Jonathan tried to organize a national sex day in Canada, which many speculate was to lose his virginity.
Yes. That's completely what it is.
I tend to agree with that. Now he goes through college, nothing else really to report. But in 2017, so about 9 years later, Jonathan starts popping up online, engaging in really strange conversations on Facebook groups for the most part. He changed his name to Jessica Yaniv.
That was a swerve. I wasn't ready for that. Okay.
However, I'm still nominating him my Gentleman of the Week. Number 1, because I don't believe in that. And number 2, more specifically, I don't believe that he has any intentions of actually transitioning to a woman. I think, the facts will speak for themselves, I think. Casey, because it's a lot to read, and, I'm at the end of the day, I'm really just a man of the people. I'm going to pull up on my own computer some of the text conversations that this gentleman got into.
Sure.
Here we go.
Like I said, Jonathan Yaniv was getting on to these Facebook groups, primarily like makeup tutorial groups, and like, oh, what kind of eyeliner do you wear, and blah blah blah. And he would single out women, and DM them. He would slide into their DMs, so to speak, and he'd get into some pretty fucked conversations, if I do say so myself. So this one, the premise of this is that he's asking a girl about girls' bathrooms, specifically the gym bathrooms, like the locker rooms at the gym, because he's concerned that, you know, he's going to come off as a weirdo.
Oh, no.
So you all saw what the first picture looked like. As he's writing this, he still looks like that. He's made no effort to show out as a girl or anything. Canada has some fucked laws when it comes to transgender. As long as you claim that you are transgender and you filled out this little like measly form and you get it signed, that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't need a doctor's note saying that you've been on hormone therapy. You don't need any of that.
So
Canada is just like, yeah, fine.
So
just say you are and you are.
His tits are extra credit then. Like he's just adding on over the top. Like he's covered.
Totally extra credit, and you wouldn't know he has a dick. I don't think he looked. You know, I think it's covering up. Anyway, Jonathan starts writing, and it's he's saying, I don't know about the rest of the girls that have their tits and pussy out. Lovely. Even though I don't have the parts for that, you know, ... And also, like, is it weird to look for the string to know who to ask for one? Casey, what do you think he's referencing there? What do you think he's talking about?
Well, he's talking about tampons for sure, but why?
No.
He's got no use for them. What does he need to know about this? He's just a creep, right? He doesn't want to actually be a girl. He's just a creep.
We'll get right into that. Okay. He says, like, even though I have a dick, frowny face, unfortunately, I've never thought that in my whole life. Like, that string has never come out. Like, unfortunately, I have a dick.
I've thought that
God.
about being fat a lot, but never about my dick. Like, I'm fat, frowny face, but I have a dick, smiley face, right? Like,
I'm sure I've cursed my dick when I was like in middle school, like, why now? You know, but that's really the only time. He says, I can be fully out there and change with them. Like, I don't want them to give me any issues or anything. Yeah, totally fine. Just walk in, dick swinging in the breeze. No one's gonna say anything, dude. You're in Canada. And this girl, I was gonna say bless her, but really fuck her because of her attitude. She's the reason why this is happening. This whole attitude that she portrays is why this is happening. She goes, I can't speak for everyone, but I think I'd be okay with it. Not everyone is as tolerant though. I want you to be safe as well, but in the end, it's you that has to be comfortable. Fuck whoever don't like it.
Well, no.
Whoever don't like it. Doesn't matter.
Well, that's not great advice for a man walking into a woman's locker room. Hey, no matter what anybody says, you do you. Just whatever you feel like doing. Just go on in there.
The only thing that matters is that you're comfortable.
You live your life. Okay?
But that also applies to everybody else. So that's retarded. Then he comes right back, and you'll see that he kind of has a one-track mind. Sometimes the girls will write back, and he's like, no, I really want to talk about this. And he goes, does like everyone change outside in front of everyone? Where do you suggest I change? Now, keep in mind, Casey, because I'm moving along to the next text here, that every single one of these texts is a different girl. This is not just one continuous thread with one girl. This is every single thread is a different girl who screenshotted this psycho and reported it to the admin of the Facebook group or Reddit or wherever girls post creepers. Casey, if you would please pull up Image chat number 2.
All right. Let's see. You got it? You see it?
Nope.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, hold on. Because
You're in
cheated
Zoom.
the system. I'm in Zoom. I cheated the system. Here we go.
Everybody in Discord's like, DC, are your eyes
DC,
okay?
are you blind?
What's happening?
So, this one I've titled "A Gentleman Always Knows His Odds." Casey. Jonathan asks very specifically, if there's like 30 girls in the change room, how many of them would you say are out there changing freely with their vaginas and tits out? Like out of 30, how many would you say? Like 3.5? How many tits am I going to see here? How many vaginas? And really, I would have just read it, but for this beautiful picture.
Yeah, which
bottom.
elicited a "what the fuck is that" in the chat.
What the fuck is that? Indeed. Moving right along. Number 3. A gentleman always checks with random whores what his legal rights are. Casey, I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
But they do. He writes, so basically, I'm going to see pussy regardless of what I do as soon as I go in there.
The subtlety on this guy is fucking on point. Like, he's amazing. He's so smooth.
He's got Asperger's type 2. And then he goes,
Hey,
like,
so when you go into a girl's locker room, how many tits are there?
oh yeah, R.I.P. Ash. No longer, but that's fine. Like, even though I'm a legal female in all aspects, well, he clarifies, I just didn't get any surgery yet. Can I get into any issues at all being in there, seeing all of that? And then this, like I said, this legal whore writes back, not legally, no, but people are sick in the head. And if you run into a Trump supporter, for example, oh, God, and they make a complaint, then the pool owner might either have an issue with you or with the one complaining. So, no problem then. 50-50. The fuck are you talking about?
She has no idea that she's doing the equivalent of telling O.J. Simpson, like, hey, listen, there's some bad people out there, okay?
Yeah.
You just got to be careful, you know?
Yeah, because if you kill a woman, some people are going to be really mad at you, or maybe they won't be mad at you. Either way, so...
They might set you up for stealing things that were yours in the first place.
They're yours in the first place, yeah. That's my signature. But this girl is very, very concerned for his well-being. She ends the text, her side of the text, with, please go with a support system. Don't do this alone just yet. I mean, isn't that their thing? Whether you're transgender or not, if you're a girl, do not go in a restroom by yourself. Case in point, this guy being in there at any given time.
He's the reason.
God.
He's the reason for the buddy system.
He's the reason. Then he goes on. and discusses how much success he's had already in the girls' bathrooms. He goes, I've asked some of my friends to go with me. They haven't said no, but I can tell they don't exactly want to do this. Yeah. Also, how can I bond with these girls? Because I feel like I might cause inconveniences to them by being in there, you know? Yeah, There you go. Follow that path of self-awareness. But he doesn't. He says, that's how I feel sometimes, that people don't do things that they normally would when I'm around. Like put their tits out.
Hey, listen, I saw you in 4th grade Spanish class. I just wanted to know how it was. And also, how's your vagina? Is it good? Can I see it now?
Is there a string? Is there a string poking out? Oh, my God. And then he goes, I've found when I'm in the bathroom, a way to make myself comfortable and them comfortable is if I'll ask them for a pad or a tampon. It works every time. Every time. And sometimes it works too well. What?
does that mean?
What does that even? I don't know. That's the end of that text. So then
Dude,
we move right
what's
along.
What's happening is just normal women are having this dude walk up and ask for a tampon.
Correct. And they're like, yeah, here you go. What a fucking weirdo. So then he texts a new girl, and let's see. They're pulling stuff. So here he goes.
Mike B says that they yank it out and give it to him.
Hey, sharing is caring.
He'd probably be happier. That's what he's looking for.
Probably would. He'd probably go make a glass of tea. So, Casey, number 4. A gentleman never uses crass language. Okay. Jonathan writes, so at the gym, do girls bear all? See, being coy, being nice and coy. She writes back, most are really discreet, like change in a way that not much shows. Yeah, like a normal person. Mm-hmm. Like a normal person who has private parts that they...
That's not how I change.
No, like da 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 da. We walk around in towels, but that's about it. And sometimes bras and panties. And then he just throws the whole non-crass thing to the side and goes, do you see tits and pussy ever?
Is he a troll? Come on. No way.
I thought that. I really did think that. But no.
It's
I think this guy's
trolling.
got... Do you see tits and pussy? I think this guy takes up like 3 letters on the spectrum. All right. And then she just writes back, not that I've seen. Do you see tits and pussy ever? Good God. So, Casey, number 6 and 7, I've titled here, a gentleman always gets right to the point. And Jonathan writes, it went really well, talking about an experience going into the bathroom, I can only assume. I expected more, though. I only saw one girl in her panties.
So this dude's now a dude just walking into locker rooms.
And this girl writes back.
What the fuck? Where did you find this guy?
The internet, bro. So then this girl writes back, it's really low key. I think most women are all self-conscious and just want to change and go as quickly as possible. And he goes, I was really expecting to walk in and see girls with their boobs out. This girl writes back.
Hold on. Notice he doesn't say other girls. He just says girls.
Just
like,
yeah.
Not people like me. I just want to go in and see tits.
I just want to see tits and their boobies out. Right to the point. And he says, or she says, yeah, that usually never happens. At most, I've just seen women walking around in towels. So again, normal girl. And then he goes, asking again about tampons to somebody else, says, is it weird to ask someone who's naked? And then this girl writes, like for me it would be, but it probably depends on the person. And he goes, is it possible I will notice a girl with a tampon string hanging out? I mean, I guess if you're like down here, like, hey, what's going on under there? Good Lord. KC, number 8 and 9, a gentleman always looks out for the kids. He writes, it sucks because on Wednesday I'm traveling to the island on a ferry, and usually they do field trips, so that means...
He's riding himself to the island.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. What a fucking whale. You're right. You're absolutely right. He writes, okay, and try to get the read between the lines here. It sucks because on Wednesday I'm traveling to the island on a ferry, and usually they do a field trip, so that means tons of 10-year-old girls in the bathroom when I need to change my pads. Ugh.
What is he using the pads for?
He's delusional, bro.
Ball sweat. It's going up under the balls.
I never thought to do that. The tampon thing I totally get, but the pad thing, I never even thought about that. Then this girl writes back, they're young enough that it may not bother them. Kids are more receptive than adults.
By the way,
I guess some kids are.
Point out that we're talking about the 10-year-old girls, and in chat we have a comment that says, not touching this one. That is not Jessica's stance, for the record.
Yeah, not touching that one is definitely never his stance. He writes back, maybe, is it weird to ask a 10 to 12-year-old girl for a pad or a tampon? Yeah, totally weird. But this person writes, a little, because kids look up to us for guidance and help, and not every girl may know what they are for. Misguided answer there, but you should run at that point. And he goes, ugh, what if I, however, get asked for one saying she started her first period?
Guy rules. Just absolute bullshit. Like, dude, if this isn't trolling, this is the weirdest level of just fucked in the head I've ever heard.
So this girl writes back, I would always offer a thin pad to a little girl over a tampon, though. You think? Some families and their culture are against tampons, or the mother and father are against them, and you don't want to piss off a mother. I'd be worried about the father. If I saw a man asking my 10, 12-year-old daughter for a tampon, or vice versa, off the boat, right off the ferry,
I'd be worried
grab him by his dick that he hates and just throw him right off the boat.
I'd be worried if I were the girl in the conversation about the man asking me what to do if a 10-year-old has her first period and asks him for a tampon.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. I just started my period. Do you want to see? Yes, I do. God. So then, so he writes back. That's what he thinks is going to happen in his mind. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. So then he goes,
you're not wrong.
If she wants, yeah. And he says, so yeah, go with the thin pad route. Don't go with the tampon. You don't want to piss anybody off. He goes, if she wants a tampon though, should I give her one and instruct her on how to use it? The girl writes, if she doesn't know how to use it, I would find her mother. If her mom is not there, then yes. No. Nope. No. Wrong answer. And he goes, and what would I tell her? Like, would I go into the stall with her and help her? That sounds so weird. If only I believed you thought that sounded weird.
He thought of it. He thought, should I go into the
Unsolicited.
stall? If it's an option, like if this comes up, which it probably will, right? It's probably going to happen. Do I go into the stall? I think I should go into the stall, but it might be weird. But it might not. It might be okay.
It might be a life-changing experience for both of us. That's for sure.
Certainly for the youngest of us. Certainly.
And for him after his indictment is over. Then she writes back, if she asks for a tampon but isn't sure how to use it, I would ask her if her mom is there. If yes, blah, blah, blah. All right, Casey. Next. A gentleman always tightens up his material. This is a new girl. He writes, I'm so nervous for Wednesday. And she writes, why? And he goes, I think my period is going to start on Wednesday when I'm traveling to Victoria and going on the ferry, and my first day is usually very heavy, so I'm going to change my pad often, frowny face. Every single time I take that ferry to the island, there's field trips with 10 to 12-year-old girls on it, each and every time. See, this does not seem like a hypothetical, like, what if. He knows that is when the field trips of 10-year-old girls go on the ferry, and he makes it his business every Wednesday to be on that ferry. If I'm in the bathroom and a girl asks me for a pad or tampon and potentially help on how to use it, if it's her first period, what do I do? Packed it all in. He got it. He nailed it.
He's tightening up the pitch, right? He's made it so many times. He's trimming the fat, right? He's cutting out a couple of the words. He's like, you know what? That sentence isn't really doing a lot for me. I think I can really.
And also, I want to make sure that I get the hypothetical of if they ask me and it's their first period. I want to get all that in there just so they know. The girl's overwhelmed. She says, "Oh wow, I don't even know how I would handle that, and I don't have a filter on my mouth." Whatever. Yeah, but you're a girl.
I love that, by the way.
So that's fine.
I've never met one girl in my life that says they don't have a filter that don't get offended fairly easily.
Right. And it's always like, oh, I don't have a filter on my mouth. Like, that's higher that you don't have the filter. It's a little higher up than your mouth. So then, number 11, a gentleman always asks for clarification. He writes, this girl writes, this is good. Yeah, it's fine. If you don't want to wear a liner, you don't have to. You can use a tampon. Just don't leave it in for more than 4 to 6 hours. It's like the boner rule. Can get toxic shock syndrome, and that's bad business. I thought toxic shock was if it was like way more time than that. Like I thought you're into like the 12-hour, 16-hour time frame. But, what do I know? I don't have tampons or use them.
But you could decide you're a woman and just start asking for them.
Yes, the younger the better. Fucking
so
dumb
DC,
shit.
I have to drive to work tomorrow morning, right? What if there's a 12-year-old girl driving a car and she pulls over and waves my car down and says, "Hey, I'm getting my first period. I need a tampon, but I also need you to explain." Do I do it on the side of the road?
You bring her into your car, and then you disrobe her for her, because that's the gentlemanly thing to do, to offer as much help as possible. And I've said too much. So a gentleman always asks for clarification. On that note, he says, what if she wants to know how to put a pad on? So again, he's going right back to the thing. He's not listening at all. Then what? I know eventually I'm going to run into that scenario where someone asks me for help. Probably not.
No one is ever going to run into that. There might be 6 women listening to this podcast in total, but none of the 6 have ever had that experience. Like, it's never happened. It's not going to happen.
And are you going to ask the girl for help putting on the condom? No. You just throw the condom against the wall and just get going. The
lights are off.
Don't worry about it.
The lights are off. You say it's on. You move forward. It's not a problem.
So this girl writes back, I've had this happen. I pulled a pad out of my purse and I showed her how to use it without dropping my pants and physically showing her. And then that really gets his motor going. He says, where did that happen to you? And what did you do exactly? If you don't mind me asking, how old was she? 2 question marks.
He couldn't hold the excitement to 1 question mark.
Tell me exactly what you did and how old was she? What did it smell like? Jesus Christ, you creep.
Was it more of a burnt red or a burgundy? What are we working with here?
Did it smell more like rust or like an old penny?
Oh, man. Did the taste match the smell?
Oh, God. All right. We're going to hell. All right, so after all this nonsense, he continues his assault on people using his his disability of transgenderness against people. He decides he's going to target small businesses that are salons that offer waxing services and ask ask them.
I need a frame of reference again. I'm going to refresh everyone's memory here.
Yeah, show the people what he looks like. Yeah,
this guy.
He
needs
guy.
a waxing.
Now, Casey, actually, it's a little bit early, but why don't you pull up the next image, please?
Sure. Image 2, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Image 2.
Got you. There you go.
This might be why.
Oh, we lost it. There we go.
Oh, there it is. There we go. It's a little cut off. You can't scroll up.
To repeat, what the fuck is that?
That is a bathing suit, or was before it was murdered and put on this man's body. He's sending this to. I've never felt less welcome in my life, by the way, but he sends this picture to some chick who says, "I love that." That's the best part of the picture. This girl being like, I love it. It looks fantastic.
You are owning that.
The saddest part is that it looks better if I assume he's a guy than if I'm assuming it's a girl.
Yeah, actually,
She's
that's true.
wearing that.
It's a better looking man than a woman in this picture.
In that picture, yeah. Oh, God. And he goes, the hard part is I'll need a girl to tie it on the back for me because I can't do it myself. It's really tricky. Dude, you probably can't wipe your ass. What are you talking about?
First off,
Tie your bathing suit.
just to go back to it, I know we know he's completely full of shit, right? And this is all just to be a complete 100% creep. Once again, he alludes to girls, not including himself. Once again, he's not a girl.
Right.
And second off, that's like, DC, my pants fell down. I need a really hot woman to help me pull them back up. It's like, nope.
Of course.
Anyone can tie your dress for you.
Yeah.
Literally,
a 10-year-old boy could do it.
Your grandfather could tie it for you. Like, it's not a matter of gender in terms of how to tie it.
To him it is. To him it is. Okay, so he goes on this rampage targeting these salons and saying, "Hi, I need a full body wax. Is that going to be a problem that I'm a man?" The next slide here that I've got. There we go.
I think you got a link for the next one.
No.
Okay.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Not quite yet. There we go. This is Jonathan writing in response to an ad on Facebook for a Christmas offer, full body wax only. $80. That seems reasonable for what you're like subjecting them to, you know? $80, that's, get paid more, ladies, for that. He goes, hello, 3 question marks, hello, 2 question marks, hi, so are you now female? and he writes, yes. And they write back, okay, when you want to come.
No way. They didn't really write it like that.
They said, okay. Actually, they said, hi, so now you are female? Yes. Okay, when you want to come. I still have my male genitals, though. Is that okay? I haven't had surgery. No. That's it. That's all they wrote. It's like, fuck you, no. So, because of Canada's aforementioned fucked laws, he went to the Human Rights Department for British Columbia and brought suit against 13 or 15 of these small, very small businesses that were specifically owned by like immigrant people, because he's super racist. His
are you sure
known?
Are you sure they're immigrants typing things like "when you want to come"?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I guess that's not fair because I've seen a lot of locals write things much worse grammatically than that. But yes, I think she was probably of the persuasion. So yeah, I've got I've got a YouTube clip where he went on the live show of a YouTuber named Blair White. Casey, if you'll pull this up and just give an immediate reaction to the
Well, I have
what's going on here.
I have 2 strong reactions to the initial the initial image that I'm looking at here. Number 1 is, first off, Jessica looks exactly like the first picture with a wig on. Yep. And second, I can't help but notice on the top left it says heated debate with Jessica, trans predator. Mm-hmm. So I don't think this young lady on the left-hand side of the screen is any more fooled than we are.
Nope. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm here with Jessica Yaniv, and those of you who watched my second to most recent video would have heard all of the accusations against Yaniv. And Yaniv, you actually called me out on Twitter recently and said that you were going to destroy me in a live debate. So what's up?
So there've been there's been a lot of hate out there. So that we're talking a little bit before the live. I'm only 8 months through transition, and that's why I don't look as beautiful as you. I'm gonna say it straight up.
Well, that's not the only reason why.
But you did tweet last night that you look better than me.
Yeah. I don't know.
I want to throw up already.
Or what?
Yeah, that was a lie.
Dude.
Okay, Casey, as I said before, a gentleman always gets straight to the point. Blair is a goddamn gentleman.
That's right.
Keep this going for her first question.
I have a question.
Of course.
I have a few questions. I wrote down a lot of questions, and before we went live, you had me write down things you wanted to talk about as well, so we'll get to that. But my first question is, can you menstruate?
Yeah. That's something that I've been hiding from a lot of people for a really long time. But I am intersex. Basically, I was born with both reproductive organs.
You Godzilla?
Go ahead and stop it there.
What the fuck?
Go ahead and stop it there. He can menstruate. So
same.
That's that. Now, what did you think of Blair?
I like Blair's questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Blair's doing good. I have my suspicions about Blair as well, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that's a dude.
Yes,
it's a dude. Blair White is a dude.
I realized.
I think he went by Brad.
I gave it a little closer look after I said this young lady on the left. But you know what? She gets the credit for being a young lady on the left. She's done the work.
Yes,
it would appear.
She could put a tampon in me. That's fine.
Can she menstruate?
I don't know, Casey.
I don't know either. I don't know if you want me to keep playing this, but I want to keep playing it.
No. That's it. That's it. You can stop that one.
I want to watch it forever. This is an hour and 10 minutes long. I might watch all of it between now and 4 a.m. It might happen.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend it. I don't want to subject the listening audience to all of the craziness, but it's there. Go ahead and search Jonathan or Jessica Yaniv, whichever you like, on YouTube.
Oh God, dude! I'm sorry, not to spoil anything, but I pulled up your next picture, and what the fuck, man?
Sorry about that.
It's just so awful.
Oh, the last picture, picture number 3.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, Casey. Now he gets called out. This YouTube video was back in 2019. This is when all of his infamy and notoriety started booming. He got internet famous for being this fucking weirdo, and Blair White having a YouTube show and being transgender herself caught wind of Jonathan Yaniv, and anybody within a mile of him, I think, catches wind of him, and just destroyed him on the show. He can't formulate his thoughts. He keeps saying that he thinks that he's entitled to have salons handle his nuts, his cock and balls, to wax them because this little document that says, I have an F on my gender for female, so I'm entitled to it, and if they don't do it, it's discrimination. I'm taking them to court. And basically that's what that whole hour-long debate is about. Oh, he's full of shit. He goes on to say that he was involved with a party that was thrown for tweens and young teenagers where they were encouraged to be topless, both boys and girls, for body acceptance, and parents were discouraged from coming. And they put that as a change.org petition that they sent out with his name all over it. And then he tried to deny that he had anything to do with it on the show. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I can't wrap my head around all the moving pieces to make something like that happen.
Yeah, and then
Jesus Christ.
And then she called him out for going into the bathroom just a day or two after he got like his legal status of being a female, and he just walked right into the bathroom looking like a dude and just started taking selfies in the mirror, you know, because that's what you do when you're a girl. He didn't know any better. Like he saw like monkey see, monkey do. You know, you just go right in the bathroom, start taking stupid pictures of yourself in the mirror with underage girls in the background, and he just posted them all over the fucking internet like a fucking weirdo. So he ended up getting BTFO'd in court because the lawyers outed him and actually took away his anonymity that he wanted to maintain. They're like, no, he's got a public profile that shows that he claims to be transgender, and he's already outed himself, so he can't have anonymity. And he settled the lawsuit. He's like, okay, that's fine. I won't deal with you. So then this year, Casey, this summer, July of this summer, big news. YouTube clip number 2, sir.
YouTube clip 2. Oh, I had image up. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. There it is.
That's my fault.
All right. YouTube clip. Oh, look at this nice looking guy. All right, let's see. What do we got here?
He's my impromptu gentleman of the week.
News with you. Right now I'm actually at the Alberta Legislature covering a completely different story, but I had to stop everything and make this video as soon as I got a call from the Crown Prosecutor's Office in British Columbia. You might already know what this is now about. Jonathan Yaniv will be arrested very shortly and be put in front of a judge. He's going to be charged with criminal assault. That is his 3rd criminal charge in just a few months.
And they got it on tape.
Oh, they got it on tape.
Here we go.
Jonathan Yaniv, of course, was charged just a few months ago with prohibited weapons charges. And then when I was outside the courthouse asking him very reasonable questions that any
pause it real quick.
would ask.
What's a prohibitive weapon in Canada? Like a dildo?
Like a pencil?
A butter knife? Pencil? Anything that's...
yeah. A closed fist?
Like a moose. Yeah, I think you're right. A moose.
Are you going to be pleading guilty to these charges? Well, what do you know? This monster
huge too
assaulted me in broad daylight. Watch. The Crown Prosecutor called me and asked me if I had any objections to him sending
Go
the
back
RCMP
like 5 seconds.
What did he do?
Go back right to the beginning of the assault. There we go. Just right to the beginning of the assault.
This monster assaulted me in broad daylight. Watch.
He beat a stutter into him. Watch this.
The Crown Prosecutor called me and asked me if I had any objections to him sending the RCMP to arrest Jonathan Yaniv. Of course I didn't, but listen to this.
I'm just calling because
all right. You can stop it now. It doesn't matter. It's just boring lawyer speak. So that is Jonathan Yaniv. He is a national treasure up in Canada, right after Celine Dion and Dion Phaneuf. And...
what a journey.
It's a gentleman then, a gentleman now, and a gentleman always.
Well, just for shits and giggles then. You got to throw that up there.
Oh, there he is. With that dime store wig.
Wow, you might have overestimated
face.
that. Oh my God, there's a worse picture. There's a worse picture in the chat.
I believe it. Our chat is amazing. If you're not in the chat, go to patreon.com/2goddamngentlemen. Become a goddamn gentleman. $10 a month. You get every single live access every Friday night at 11. And you too can see these terrible, terrible pictures that, oh God.
Dude, they're so bad.
Looks like, yeah, it looks like if Roseanne and Dan Goodman or John Goodman, like literally just
Dan Goodman.
His name is Dan in the show, so
Dan Goodman.
There you go. There she is. And Ursula.
Oh man, that's perfect.
That is correct.
Do you have any other honorary gentlemen for the week, DC?
Just one, Casey. I think everybody can agree that Jonathan Yaniv is a gentleman. No argument there. And while I was searching online, I found some others that just didn't quite make the cut. I've got an honorary gentleman who's featured in this this newspaper clipping, it looks like. The headline reads, "Thief tastes bitter failure." This happened in Auckland, New Zealand. The offender has yet to be found, but the punishment admirably fitted the crime, police believe. An elderly couple camping in a mobile home at an East Coast camping ground were awakened by a noise outside. Thinking nothing of it, they went back to sleep. The next morning, it was apparent a potential petrol thief had tried to take their fuel. But as the police magazine 10-1 reported, the thief got more than he or she bargained for. On the ground by one of the mobile home's tanks was a pool of vomit and a siphon hose. Also laying on the ground was not the cap to the fuel tank, but the cap to the mobile home's sewage holding tank. That is gentlemanly behavior.
Oh, that's great.
So a gentlemanly tip of the cap to the thief for puking and leaving his siphon hose and getting the fuck out of there.
Well, I'd like to add one more honorary, and that is our fearless leader, President Donald Trump, also sucking shit by removing TikTok from America. So
I thought you were going to say by flushing Ginsburg. Oh, well.
I didn't think your tweet was very classy today. It wasn't very gentlemanly.
Ding dong, the witches. Anybody knows what I'm talking about.
All right, is it my turn?
That's really
here?
funny.
Is it time for a nomination?
I can't wait. I got a full drink. Last week's drink was stiff. This week's drink is stiffer. Like think Maddox's dick from the closet.
Your drink is stiffer than Jessica walking in a locker room. It is at attention. It is there.
Stiffer than his retrieved old tampons. Even stiffer than that.
Stiffer than the man behind him in jail. It's just very stiff. Very stiff.
I don't think anybody could be in jail long enough to get stiff behind that guy.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's oof. Yeah, it's rough.
That's a no-go. I mean, he didn't even get the Brazilian wax. It's just,
it's rough. So, DC, I would like to nominate a gentleman. This is a man that you've heard the name. Everybody knows who he is, or most people know who he is, but we're going to take a little deeper look into a man who's been very popular recently, and I think he's a true gentleman. And that is Jerry Falwell Jr. Now, Jerry has been maligned and persecuted wrongly in the mainstream media, the lamestream media, as we like to call it. So Jerry married his wife, Becky, back in 1987 for the math nerds. That's over 33 years ago. And DC, I don't know if you've heard anything that's been going on in Jerry's life recently, but quick backstory. He's the son of, he's a junior, so Jerry Falwell Sr., who is a televangelist, and Jerry has taken over as the president and chancellor of Liberty University from his dad. He did that in 2007, and his dad was a famous televangelist, evangelical Christian, which I know you have many opinions about many religions, and I'm sure we'll have some fun with a little bit of that as we go through this.
They're all true.
They're all
true, every last one of them.
So DC, for this tale, for this story for you, we have three main players, and I would like to introduce you to them now.
Okay.
We have on the left Mr. Jerry Falwell Jr.
Mm-hmm.
On the right, his wife, Becky Falwell, and in the middle, Giancarlo Granda. Now, Giancarlo was 20 years old when he met the Falwell couple. He was a pool attendant at what I kept reading is known as the world famous Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami. He was pool boy at the hotel. So, as we go through this, there may be some things that make you think, well, not you, because you know better. You're a goddamn gentleman, as I am as well. But some people might think to themselves, no, this guy doesn't seem like he's really on the up and up, and there might be some issues. Wrong. There's a real villain in this story, and it's Becky Falwell. I'm going to tell you why. So,
Sold.
The initial meeting between the Falwells and young Giancarlo, Becky saw him hitting on girls at the pool. and she walked up and said, quote, "Those girls don't know what they're doing. You need someone with more experience." Now that is the start of a problem. But she continues. "But one thing, my husband likes to watch." At which point, like a true gentleman at the hotel pool, Jerry emerged in a Speedo. Beautiful. It's a nice image.
Yeah.
This guy in a Speedo, does it look good to you? What do you think?
Yeah, it looks good. I can see it now. It's an American flag.
Now, Becky, not a gentleman. Giancarlo, not a gentleman. Because Giancarlo is now in contact with Reuters and is providing emails, texts, and other evidence documenting his multi-year relationship with Becky, also claiming that the Falwells, quote, lived a lavish lifestyle consisting of heavy drinking and going to nightclubs, which, in my opinion, is gentlemanly behavior.
What else are you gonna do in Miami?
I have personally no issue with that. So DC, I'm going to pull up.
You can't shoot an automatic weapon and not hit a club in Florida. You know what I mean?
That's
They're
true.
everywhere.
It's you can't argue that. So, what I'm going to play for you first here, DC, is a recorded phone conversation, which is a three-way call between Jerry,
Zing.
between Jerry, Becky, and Giancarlo. And
Yes.
you tell me who the problem is here. Okay?
Who's the cuck?
He's been very busy lately. Studying.
Yeah, so.
His new thing is like telling me every time he hooks up with people, like I don't have feelings or something.
You're gonna make us jealous.
Yeah.
Not trying to do that.
So that was Jerry chiming in saying, "You're going to make her jealous." There, Giancarlo.
Becky's the problem.
You're goddamn right.
Becky's the goddamn problem.
Let's keep going.
Like a week
Quit
ago,
being
I was
jealous.
for a whole freaking day.
Come on.
He's like, I hooked up with this girl on Tinder and then I got her an Uber, and I'm like, just completely depressed.
Come on. You don't care
Maybe
about
the
me.
more you
Nobody cares about you. So Becky's the issue here, right?
I just imagine Jerry like on his phone call, like in a different room than Becky or something, just like slowly bringing a gun up to his head while she's talking about him being depressed for hooking up with other girls like he's supposed to do. You're married, you psycho. Unless they're under contract, which then Giancarlo would be the culprit here. If he's getting paid and he's got an NDA or something like that, then it's on him. But at the end of the day, I don't want to hate on your gentleman, but at the end of the day, whoever the arrow lands on that ends up being the cuck, that's the problem right there.
That's correct. And DC, do I look concerned?
No.
Nope, I'm not. So, we continue. Giancarlo described the liaisons as frequent, quote, multiple times a year, saying the encounters took place in Miami, New York, and at the Falwell's home in Virginia. Giancarlo said in an interview, and I quote, "Becky and I developed an intimate relationship, and Jerry enjoyed watching from the corner of the room."
That's better than the closet. At least he has the dignity of being seen if they want to, Mm-hmm. They can hurl their insults to his face instead of just to the shades with his eyes poking out in between.
And his toes underneath. It's just his eyes and his toes.
And eventually some upcoments.
There's gold toe socks with cum on them. That's all it is.
Jonathan Yaniv runs in. He's like, "Are you going to use those?" And just takes them.
Is this your first time getting cum on your socks? Do you need help?
You need help. Oh, God. Why are you naked?
So following... How many tits are in here? So following the...
String check. String check. All right.
So
3 tits. Yeah, good one. Good one, chat.
Jerry Falwell issued a statement to the Washington Examiner in which he said that his wife had an affair with Giancarlo, and that Granda had been trying to extort money from the couple over the matter. Quote, Becky had an inappropriate relationship with the person, something in which I was not involved. So Jerry denying, sitting in the corner of the room. We believe that. There's certainly, the socks are clean. The material that Giancarlo showed Reuters includes screenshots. And DC, this is why I wasn't worried. Included screenshots from which Giancarlo said there was a FaceTime conversation that he had with the Falwells in 2019. During that call, Granda said that Becky was naked as the two discussed their relationship while Jerry peered around from behind a door.
Good God. That's...
Reuters was able to verify Giancarlo's description of the screenshots.
Okay.
So,
God, what a loser.
it's not great. I mean, it's not.
No.
It's not ideal. All right.
not ideal.
So, let's see. That one's next. A text from Becky, again, who we have decided, DC, we've agreed upon. She's the problem. Text from Becky.
100%.
This is more of that craziness that we just heard. Quote, right now, I am just missing you like crazy. Have you had this effect on all of your lady friends? She's the problem. Not
She's
Jerry.
the problem. But that's typical. That's typical for a woman in a relationship to romanticize. I mean, I assume because they live where? Virginia?
Yep.
They live in Virginia. They got houses all over the place. They go to Miami. This is a multiple times a year, but probably less than 5 a year relationship. She's doing this with multiple people. Giancarlo's probably just the only one that's taken advantage of, you know, the financial aspects. Because I assume the other ones are retarded. I mean, most pool boys are, you know, retarded, hanging long dong, you know, but they don't know the ins and outs of blackmail. So,
Well, they'll learn.
uh-oh. What image could have been spawned from that comment I just made? I'm kind of worried. Okay. A laughing face. I like it.
So the next clip is quick, and I just want to highlight Becky's morals and who Becky is as a person.
Just so proud of our students. We try to teach good family values and good morals.
She's doing a good job. So she's
What
nailing.
stadium was that?
I
They
don't
should
know.
be shamed.
Liberty University, probably.
Probably. You're
would
probably
imagine.
right. You're
So
probably right.
with Becky being the issue, and we've all agreed upon that, Falwell has taken indefinite leave of absence from Liberty University. Now, this is a separate issue. That step, announced in a terse statement from the school's board of trustees, came days after an Instagram post onto Falwell's personal account. So, DC, if you would please describe this image to the group and just let everybody know what we're seeing here. And by the way, for those of you not on video, that is not Mrs. Falwell on the left-hand side here.
Is that Mr. Falwell?
It certainly is.
Jesus Christ. It looks like Dennis Quaid's brother. Randy Quaid.
Yeah, he looks like Randy Quaid.
Looks like Randy
He
Quaid.
does look like Randy Quaid. So this picture is of him and this
oh my
dumpy-looking
God.
woman.
She is the definition. This woman right here is the definition of skinny fat.
Yeah, 100%.
She has no definition at all to her midsection. Her abdomen is just an amorphous blob that you can only tell is an abdomen because of a belly button that just flows into weirdly unbuttoned Daisy Dukes.
Yeah,
That she made herself. She had to have made them herself from jeans that no longer fit from her glory days, because she does look like she's got a hot face.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, to a degree. She looks like if you took this silhouette of like the perfect woman and then just mushed everything into the wrong spots. Like, there's enough material. It's the right amount of material. But it's all pushed into the wrong places.
If you if you took the silhouette of a hot woman and then just took shrooms and looked at it for 2 hours, eventually a screenshot of that view would be this. And she looks like a weird, like, who's that chick from Scooby-Doo?
Daphne.
Daphne.
Yeah.
There you go. It looks like she's cosplaying slutty Daphne.
So they've both got, for some reason, their stomachs hanging out and their pants are unzipped in the picture.
Oh, I didn't even look at his stomach. Oh my God, that opens up a world of disaster.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it gets.
Oh
yeah,
my
it's way worse than you originally thought.
What is going on here? And they're in like some kind of weird hotel or RV.
This is his Instagram that posted too. It was in a series of pictures. This is one of them. It says more vacation shots. Lots of good friends visited the yacht. I promise that's just black water in my glass. It was prop only.
These motherfuckers, dude. Okay, Jerry Falwell Sr. had it down pat. I know, and I've said this to you in the past. I've said this to many friends of mine. If I wasn't somewhat ethical, don't spit your drink out. If I was somewhat more ethical, I could go on a charlatan rampage where I could just bilk idiots for tons of money because I know the scriptures back and forth. Like I know the Bible back and forth. I know all the crazy shit. I could preach a sermon right now that would bring an old woman to tears, and I could take all the money that she has, and I could be on a yacht with some blob woman. But as it is, I'm selling copiers to lawyers. That's my lot in life right now. Oh, man.
I'm glad you brought up the scripture stuff because that's one of the next points here. Now, Liberty University, extremely Christian evangelical place, over 100,000 students enrolled in the campus and online.
Yeah, they'll let anybody in.
Now, as I was doing my research for this, DC, I did notice one trend, and I would just like to say that going in, you are going to have the same reaction to this as I did. But I have a point to make at the end of this.
Okay.
With Jerry. And Jerry's a gentleman, but maybe there's something here. So in every article, in every news story about this entire situation, everyone likes to quote the honor code of Liberty University, and I'll do it as well.
Okay.
Throwing it in poor Jerry's face, to be honest. Quote, sexual relations outside of a biblically ordained marriage between a natural-born man and a naturally born woman are not permissible at Liberty University in personal relationships. Students are encouraged to know and abide
How many times has that sentence changed?
That's a great point. That's such
between a
modern language.
naturally born man and a naturally born woman in Congress of relations that have to do with biblical knowledge.
That's a great
to
point.
know one.
That's
an
a
idiot.
great point. So, common sense guidelines to avoid the appearance of impropriety. Now, everyone in the news likes to throw that at Jerry, sitting in the corner jerking off while his wife's getting fucked by the pool guy. That's not exactly biblical, but I'd like to argue back, but I'm not the one enforcing the rules. I do find them silly, but I didn't sign up to enforce them. So, yeah. There's something to that as well. DC, let's take a halftime break on Jerry Falwell with some more Jerry Falwell, but not to do with this at all. Let's just take a halftime break to a 2015 address to Liberty University.
Some of those people in that community center had what I've got in my back pocket right now. Is it illegal to pull it out? I don't know. Is that... Anyway. I've always thought if more good people had concealed carry permits, then we could end those Muslims before they walk in and kill it.
You have a reaction to that before we continue?
Gentlemen, man. He got my vote. He got my vote with that.
He's a goddamn gentleman. He's only got one more line here. Let's sum it up.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to encourage all of you to get your permit. We offer a free course, and let's teach them a lesson if they ever show up here.
So that's Jerry's 2015.
So Muslims need not apply to Liberty University.
That's correct.
You will be shot.
That's correct. So that was just
beware of Jeremiah. Oh my God.
So that was just a little break. Let's finish up here with Mr. Falwell. DC. Now we get to late August 2020. A 911 call.
Oh, this is recent.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
A 911 call, which, dear God, did I search and search and search, but all there is are transcripts right now. It's not out yet. It's too recent.
Okay.
I tried so hard. But a 911 call, Becky gets a call at 11 p.m. From Jerry. She's at church, by the way, according to the story. Becky's at church, which I don't believe.
No.
And Jerry says that he is bleeding after falling down the stairs. Finding the doors locked when Becky gets home, she used a chair to break through the back door, get in the house, where the dispatcher that she called at 911 asked her what was going on because he was bleeding and he was disoriented and he was on the floor. So the dispatcher asked if her husband had been drinking alcohol, and DC, this is how you know you're in the elite. She goes, yes. Has he been drinking heavily, ma'am? I'm not going to answer that.
See? Lawyers. She has
man.
lawyers. She has lawyers. That was the perfect answer.
So, medics and emergency.
That wasn't the right answer, by the way.
What's the right
it was good. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The right answer is I don't know. The right answer is never. I'm not going to answer that, because then the prosecution comes and says, "We're in discovery. We're in discovery, and you are legally required to answer what you would have said."
I watched enough Law and Order. What's the husband-wife thing? You don't have to. You don't have to testify against the other one.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
See?
But then if I were the prosecution, I would say, Your Honor, this man is in the corner. he has forfeited his marital rights.
He's ruined 4 polos. He's ruined 4 polos this year. Just
look at these socks.
Stiffer than Jessica.
These are not women's socks. He did not come upon women's socks.
So, medical emergency responders arrived at the residence later that night. A responder observed lacerations to Jerry's face, including under his left eye, across the bridge of his nose, and above both eyes. So he took a tumble. But DC, it's 11 p.m. A gentleman relaxes in his house, and if he falls down, he falls down. That's fine. There's not a problem there.
And if he happens to fall on some blades that will cut him in 3 different places, well, whatever.
It could happen. Now, DC, I'm going to close it up here because this story is ongoing. We're going to be following Mr. Falwell's progress as this podcast continues. But I would like to, just because I know you're concerned about this, his standing at Liberty University. So
I am.
We'll leave it here. Liberty University said it's, quote, decision whether or not to retain Falwell as president has not yet been made.
Oh my God, he's the president of that fucking place?
Oh yeah, he certainly is. Oh my God. Its board of trustees, in a statement, he's the president and the chancellor. Yeah, dude, he's totally in charge.
The president and chancellor of my school jerks off in the corner while his wife gets plowed by a handful of fucking part-time jobbers. Oh, man.
Where's Jerry? He's in the corner holding the skimmer while the pool guy fucks his wife. After he was suspended, the Board of Trustees issued a statement reading that they have, quote, requested prayer and patience as they seek the Lord's will and also seek additional information for the assessment.
Hey, the Lord works in mysterious ways. He'll probably be fully reinstated, and he'll come back and say, praise the Lord for his sacrifice on the cross, that he allowed a sinner like me to come back from this. And if you are having trouble in your life, just remember what I came back from.
Jerry is...
Fucking loophole, cop-out bullshit.
Jerry Falwell Jr., a gentleman.
I would have to agree. Everybody listening to this podcast can go to twogoddamngentlemen.com as soon as the podcast is released. If you're listening live, don't be too hasty. Go to twogoddamngentlemen.com. You can find the episode in its audio version. As soon as we release the next week's podcast, you can get the video. If you're not a patron of the show or whatever, but you listen, we appreciate you. We still love you. You can get the video version of the podcast a week later. As soon as we launch the audio for the newest podcast, go to the website, find the video for the old podcast, and you can vote on the Gentleman of the Week. It is a strongly disagree to strongly agree format of whether or not Jerry Falwell Jr. and Jonathan Yaniv are goddamn gentlemen. I would have to say both of these selections are goddamn gentlemen. We'll see if the people agree. I was dead wrong last week. Maddox is a fucking not goddamn gentleman, according to the masses.
He is certainly something special, DC. We will find out about Jessica. We will find out about Jerry. But no matter what, we'll be back a week from now as the search for the ultimate gentleman continues. Meeting adjourned.